Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nelly the Savage again, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Tarte Tartiest palette and the Too Faced Peach palette. Alright, so let's jump right into it without further ado. Alright, so let's start out with the Tarte Tartiest Pro palette. And this says High Performance Neutrals, Tartiest Pro Amazonian Clay Palette. And it comes with this cool little guide to show you how to show styles. I mean, it shows you how to put on the eyeshadow and create these looks. And then I love this packaging. I love it because you can see the shades on the back of the carton. And I think that is super cool how they did that. And then all the ingredients are listed on the back. I just love this packaging because it's black and gold, very simple to the point. And that's just kind of something that catches your eye. So very smart with marketing when they made this packaging. Okay, and let's go ahead and open her up. It comes with this sheet screen. I always keep that there because I like to keep my palettes nice and clean. And it looks like this on the inside. And the thing I love about this palette is all the variety of colors. There's something in here for everybody. And because I am a chocolate girl and I have brown eyes, a lot of these shades will work and they will really make my eyes pop. And I think that's great. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and do swatches of all the colors on my hand and on my wrist, so you guys can see what it looks like on my complexion. I'm going to be using a brush too. I'm going to be doing finger swatches and brush swatches, so you guys can see what they look like when you use your finger. And I would suggest using my finger for the shimmer shades, because when you use a brush, it changes the consistency of it and it's not as pigmented as it normally would be. So we're going to start with Classic and work our way over and then down, so from left to right. Alright, so we're going to start with Classic. And then I'm just going to continue to go, and I have makeup wipes on hand. And sorry, my hands are like breaking out right now because I've been using germ killer on them. And it really has been making me break out. I'm just going to be wiping off my fingers in between. And I have a paper towel on hand too, so I can wipe off the excess, and the same with the brush. And I also like to blow when I'm done so the shadow doesn't get everywhere. I'm just swatching right now. I'm going as fast as I possibly can. Hopefully I can fit all of these onto my arm without any problems. Like I said, I'm going to be wiping my hands off in between swatches so it doesn't change the pigment of any of the colors, so the colors are their true pigment. Okay. And I have to take these bracelets off. And all these colors, every single one of them, there's not one color that's not really pigmented. Like every single color is super pigmented and looks really pretty. I just did that color. Okay, let's go into here. Alright, yeah, I'm just loving the swatches on my arm. And then the last ones I'm going to do on this hand because I don't have any more room on this hand. I didn't plan this out. Well, just kind of winging this video. Here, let's try this. I don't know, this like black. Actually, the black isn't really that pigmented. I take that back. The color Punk, it's not as black as I'd like it to be. I don't know if that's because I use a different, I like dipped into one shade with one finger and then I dip into that shade again. And then again, I'm going to be blowing this off. Alright, let's let's try and dip into Punk again, and let's see if it's more pigmented. Yeah, this black isn't as pigmented as I thought it would be. Yeah, I just went over that swatch. It doesn't really change anything. So here are the swatches. And then the rest are on this hand. Now I'm going to be going right next to those colors with a brush and swatching them. And there is a lot of kickback in this palette, which I don't really like. I think that that is something that they should have worked on. Kickback is annoying because if you're OCD like me and you like everything to be clean, the kickback makes the palette dirty. And like I said before, I'm just going to be wiping off the brush on a paper towel between each shade. Like, you guys can see that. That's a lot of kickback. And I don't like to keep it in the pan, so I just blow it off. I know some of you guys are going to be like, you spent all this money on this palette. You're being so wasteful. I know, but I just don't like kickback and of course when you use your fingers, it's going to show up better. But I'm also doing this as quickly as I can for you guys, because I don't want this video to be so long like the last one was. But I think everyone's been enjoying my last video. I don't know though, mistake me if I'm wrong. Okay, sorry. All the kickback, I can't stand it. Can't stand it. And of course the shades are going to look different with the brush swatches, because it's a brush and it's not your finger, and it doesn't have the natural oils on it. So it's going to be different. So just keep that in mind. If you want it more pigmented and you don't really care about germs, go ahead. Make sure you wash your hands before you touch your eyelids, please. Please, please, please. Don't be grody. Don't be a DGL. Don't be a dirty girl for life. That's not cute. And I'm making the brush swatches bigger than the finger swatches, just because like the brush is bigger and I wanted you guys to see what it looked like with the brush swatches, because like I said, it is totally different. I'm trying not to pick up that much shadow, but there is a lot of kickback in this palette, and like I said, this palette is such a highly coveted palette, and it's not a cheap palette, so I don't think that there should be a lot of kickback in it, because Tarte is a highly coveted brand, and everyone who's a makeup lover has something by Tarte in their cosmetic bag. So I definitely should have thought about that a little bit more. That is the thing that I will say, that when I do eyeshadow, I hate kickback. Alright, now we're going to do the last 5 shades at the bottom here with the brush. And these swatches are going to be longer than the finger ones, just because it's easier that way. Oh my god, there's so much kickback. Okay, on my hand I kind of screwed up, so the shades aren't going to be, actually no, I don't want to fix that, it's not that big of a deal. You guys get the gist here. You guys understand what I'm doing. Everyone here has a brain. You guys can all connect the dots. That's what this hand looks like. Right here is the finger, and right underneath is the brush swatch. And same on this hand. Above is the finger, and the longer ones are the brush strokes. So, final thoughts on this palette. I love the shades. I think that this idea is genius to have mattes and shimmers all in one palette. For the girl who just wants to buy one palette, you only want to buy one palette. You will only have to buy this one. You know, you can use this all year. Like, there's fall colors here, winter deep tones, you know, summer shades, There's something for everybody for every season of the year. And if you want to add a little pop of color, you can use these shimmer shades. And the shimmer shades are really, really, really pretty. But I would suggest packing them on with your finger and not using a brush. Because like you can see here, the brush does not apply them as well as your finger. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it hasn't been figured out yet. But yeah. And this retails for about $62. You can find this at Ulta or Sephora. And this did go on sale on Black Friday, and I was going to get it then, but I waited too long, and this palette is like always sold out. Whenever you go into the stores, ask them when they restock, like the Ulta near me. They restock every Friday, and if you call them before, they will put stuff on hold for you, so keep that in mind too. I'm sure every store does that. I'm just going to be wiping these off so I can talk about the Peach palette next. I would say if you are on a budget, like this Tarte palette, it's actually my mom's, but she doesn't really use it, so I get more use out of it than she does. But if you can afford it, like ask for it for your birthday, ask for it for Christmas, ask for it as a present, you know. Enter giveaways. YouTubers are always doing giveaways with palettes in them because they have so many, they're not going to use all of them all the time. Alright, I'm just going to wipe my hand off this paper towel. Get all those shades completely off my skin. You don't want makeup to seep into your skin. Alright, let's jump into the Too Faced Peach palette now, and it looks like this. It comes in this packaging, and this retails for about $56, and you can also find this at Ulta and Sephora. I like to keep the boxes just because when you're traveling, your shadows can get ruined if you don't keep them in the box. The box is like a protective case for it. And I will say this, the Too Faced Peach palette is much prettier than the Tarte Tartiest palette. But I think because they had more color range and more shades, they didn't feel like they had to do as much with the packaging. Whereas the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, sorry, it's the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And they did launch this over the summer, and then they relaunched it. So it looks like this on the inside. The packaging is really pretty. Like if you love pink like me and you're a girly girl, your eyes are just going to gravitate to this palette. And if you have brown eyes like me, this palette is perfect for you, and this is like the only palette you'll need for the whole year. There's so many browns in here that makes brown girls' eyes pop. There's pinks. I love to use pinks and purples and blacks and golds. So this palette is perfect for me, and I use this almost every single day. And all the shades have the cutest name, like White Peach, Just Peachy, Bellini, Summer Yum. Summer Yum is one of my favorite shades in here. It just has really cute names for all the colors. And now I'm going to be doing the same thing I did with the Tarte Tartiest palette. I'm going to be finger swatching and wiping off in between. And then I'm going to be starting with White Peach and then going to the right and then back down to Nectar and then doing the same thing I did before. And this is what all the colors like in the palette. And again, these colors always look better when you use your finger. So if you are one of those girls who doesn't want to buy brushes or you only have one brush, I knew this girl in high school, she always applied her eyeshadow with her finger. And I thought she was crazy. Okay, sorry, I just had to like count because I thought for a second I forgot how many fingers I had. But I only have 5, so I have to wipe my hands off again. Okay. And then wipe it off with the towel, dry it off so there's no moisture getting on the shades. Now with this one, I'm noticing when I'm doing the finger swatches, and the same with the Tarte Tartiest palette, there's not a lot of kickback when you use your fingers too, so that's also something to think about. Like you just saw me blow off so much of the eyeshadow. And some of you will say that's wasteful, but when you have OCD like I do, you can't have kickback making your palette dirty. Like I really can't stand that. If you ever use some of my makeup, do not leave the kickback on my palette. I will never let you use my makeup ever again. No, I'm just kidding, but I'm really not. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Alright. So I'm almost done here. And there's not as many, I don't think there's as many shades as the Tarte Tartiest palette. I don't feel like counting them. But yeah, the Tarte Tartiest palette is definitely for the more girl who's more adventurous. The peach palette is for like everyday tones. Just stuff that you would use every day. Like these colors you can use every single day of the week. The Tarte Tartiest palette is kind of like, you know, vacation, destination palette. I'm going to take these bracelets off because they're getting in the way of my swatching. Okay. And like I said, these shades, they tend to look better when you swatch them with your finger. So if you want to go ahead and do that, just make sure you're putting on germ killer or you're washing your hands before, because that is nasty and you will probably get pink eye or some sort of eye infection, and then you won't be able to wear makeup at all. You'll be like, why didn't I listen to Chanel? She was trying to tell me to wash my hands. Summer Yam, my favorite shade. And this shade, I think this shade is similar to, well, not, actually no. The one in the Tarte palette, I feel like it's similar to the Kylie palette. Like her orange, I feel like it's kind of, it could be a dupe for that. And I really want that palette just for that orange shade, just because I love how it looks on her. Anyways, back to what we were doing before. Sorry, I had to grab another paper towel, but this one was too dirty. So now we're going to take brush swatches, and this is what it looks like with the finger. Like you can tell it looks so pigmented. And there's not as much kickback in the Sweet Peach palette as there is in the Tarte's palette, but they did relaunch it, so I'm not sure if they changed the formula. They might have. This second one has a lot of kickback. The first one didn't. I think because it's a matte shade, and the second one is a glittery shade. Like the Just Peachy has a lot of kickback too. And oh wow, it's like not even coming up with the brush. And this is like the brush I use for my crease every day. Yeah, these pigments are terrible with the brush. Oh my gosh. Ooh. No wonder why when I was doing my eyeshadow with these brushes, it like wasn't showing. I'm gonna have to start using my fingers, because like it's really not showing up. And I will show you the kickback from the top row. Like look how much kickback is in there. Isn't that frustrating? Okay. Wipe off the brush in between until it looks clean enough to go into the next shade, because you don't want that shade being changed. Yeah, these look awful without, when you're using your brush. Oh my gosh, I'm like really surprised. I've never done this before. I usually, whenever you do swatches, you just swatch with your finger so you can get the true pigment. And with this brush, I'm not seeing the true pigment. Maybe it's this kind of brush because it's like more, you know, spread out. Maybe it's packed together, because packed together brushes change the consistency. It's like using your finger almost. Not exactly, but it's the closest thing to. That's why you use that brush for your eyelids. Okay, what shade was that on? That was on Summer Yum. Oh yeah, this brush, it's probably just this brush, but yeah, girl. Yeah, boy. Whoever is out there watching this, this is not. Okay. Let's go ahead. Okay, this shade, Peaches and Cream is the only shade I'm really noticing that is like the exact same with the brush. Now that is speaking volumes, talking about how many shades are in this palette. The fact that there's only like one that looks the same with using the brush, that is not good. Okay, never mind. Georgia also looks the same with the brush too. Not exactly the same, but it almost has the same amount of pigment as the finger swatches. Yeah, these shimmery shades are just not, I would not use a brush for these shimmery shades. Definitely use your finger to get the full effect. Because, I mean, you're going to be applying it, so you want to make sure. Did I forget a shade? I think I forgot Puree. Yeah, I did. I'm just going to be adding that to the bottom. I'm trying to make it as dark as possible. You can see that. So this is perfect for a crease color for me. It doesn't really show up. It doesn't really do anything for me as far as pigment goes. It's not really showing up on me, which isn't a problem because, like I said, it's perfect for like blending your crease color and making everything more cohesive. But as far as showing up, it's not really showing up on my skin. And that's fine. Like, I love when palettes have a crease color. Because usually I use Dirty Little Secrets teaser, and I kind of find it annoying that I always have to like pull that out. Instead of just, but with this palette, I could literally, so much kickback. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. Does anyone else find a lot of kickback annoying? Because I find it highly annoying. Alright, so here's the brush swatches, and you can tell that they're not even significantly similar except for the two shades, Georgia and Peaches and Cream, and that is speaking volumes for how many shades are actually in this palette. But with that being said, I do love this palette besides those few minor things, but I do kind of find it irritating that there is a lot of kickback. Since they relaunched it, they should have probably changed the formula, and that's definitely something they should think about doing. And this box does come with something so like the palette doesn't move, so when you do travel, and it comes with this, I didn't even know it came with this actually, it comes with this like lookbook with cartoon demonstrations in the back showing you exactly where to place the shadows. Now I don't use these because I feel like this is for girls who don't really know how to do makeup. I just like to come up with my own looks. I'm sure they've been created before, but I just like to, you know, pull colors from my outfit or add a little bit of contrast. Alright, so final thoughts. I would say if you are a brown-eyed girl like myself, I would definitely steer towards the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette because there's so many browns and golds and complementary colors for your eyes. It would look really pretty if you had like blue eyes, green eyes. It would look pretty with anyone, but especially if you have brown eyes. Because when you have brown eyes, there's like not many colors that complement your, your eyes. So brown on brown makes brown pop. So yeah, I would definitely keep that in mind. And if you are a more adventurous girl, if you go on a lot of vacations, if you travel a lot like myself, I would definitely go for the Tarte Tartiest palette. I mean the Tarte Tartiest Pro palette. And I will show you guys these one more time. And if I had to choose one, it would definitely be the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And these are both See Nelly the Savage approved. I would definitely say go out and buy both of them if you can. If you can't, I would just get the Sweet Peach if you have like brown eyes like myself. And if you're more adventurous and you like to use more shimmery shades, more matte shades, more like shades like this, I would get this one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Make sure to subscribe below. Bye!